Friends, the photos you are seeing on your screen while sliding, do you know what it is? This is IBM 1401, a computer whose memory was only 4K. But the question is, why am I telling you all this? Actually, this computer was the first computer of Tata Consultancy Services, i.e. TCS. And the funny thing is that TCS could not buy it. World Bank, JP Morgan, Microsoft Solutions. TCS that has given India revolutionary platforms like Passport Seva Kendra, IRCTC online ticketing system, Indian Post digitalization, and income tax filing portal. Today, TCS has become one of the largest employers in India's private sector, with more than 6 lakh employees. But have you ever thought that when computers were considered dangerous in society, how an IT company like TCS was established? TCS's inspiring journey. So friends, the story begins in the 1960s, when a very important meeting of the senior management of Tata Group was held, in which different companies of the group participated. Operations or future planning per bath, senior executive or Hanani discussion Han. He said, "It is very difficult to manually manage so much data of our companies. So we should think about storing data in the computer." And for this, he proposed to make his own IT company. Now, JRD Tata liked this idea very much, but its implementation was not as easy as it seemed. Because at that time, there was no computer in India, and neither such professionals were there. Operate car, administrative service. Yes. 19 skilled people are selected in Tata Administrative Service who handle high-level management and leadership roles for different companies of Tata Group. And it is also very difficult to be selected like IES. Now people were selected, but the biggest challenge was how to arrange a computer. Computers were not available in India at that time, and Tata also had a very low budget for this project, because of which they could not buy expensive computers from foreign countries. By the way, let me tell you for an idea the type of computer that TCS needed at that time. It would cost around $1 million to buy it. If it is converted to Indian rupees today, it would be around 8 crore 48 lakh rupees. And we are talking about 50 years ago. That means you can imagine the value of 8 crore rupees at that time. That's why JRD Deep Tata found a way out. 1401 model computer from IBM on lease. And friends, this computer proved to be a game changer not only for Tata, but for the entire country's industry. IBM 1401 was an ultra-modern machine at that time, which was also called a data processing machine. Although it was the most popular computer model at that time, but if we compare it with today's laptops and PCs, it was quite different. Actually, this computer deck was the size of a room. For kilobytes still, in that time, it was a very good tool for data management and automation for this organization. So friends, in this way, JRE Tata now had a small team of professionals for their company, and the computer was also arranged. In such a situation in 1966, they set up their first office in the Churchgate area of Mumbai in Nirmal building, and named the company Tata Computer Systems. Transcripts of the punched card were converted to Tata Consultancy Services, or TCS, after some time. Soon, the TCS team started processing, data storing, and analyzing the punched card with the help of this computer. Now you must be thinking, what is a punched card? Actually, a punched card was a piece of rectangular paper. It was a machine that punched small holes, and each hole represented a number or a character. These holes were a special machine which was read through a punch card reader. The reader scanned the holes and processed the data. In the beginning, TCS's first Tisco, which is now known as Tata Steel. After this, TCS started working for Telco, which we know today as Tata Motors. But friends, till this time, TCS's team was working under no leader and there was no defined goal for them. That's why JRD Deep Tata made FC Kohli, i.e. Fakerchand Kohli, the general manager of TCS in 1968. Let me tell you that FC Kohli was working as a chief engineer in Tata Electric at that time, and he had no intention of coming to TCS. That's why he clearly told JRD Tata, "Sir, I don't know anything about computers. I am fine with Tata Electric." But JRD Tata knew FC Kohli's talent. That's why he said that no one knows computers in India. Someone has to start. Even though he didn't want to, Kohli had to take care of TCS. But later he took the company to such heights that today he is known as the father of the Indian IT industry. However, it was not easy for him to build a market in India because there was no benchmark here before and TCS had to do everything from scratch. In this way, after some time, Mr. Kohli realized that nothing is being earned by managing the data of Tata Group's companies. So why not offer our services to foreign companies to increase their earnings? But the biggest question was, who will take these services? Because as we told you earlier, computer and data processing were not a trend in India. And there was such a mentality in the market that jobs will be lost after the arrival of the computer and it will become a threat to people's employment. Even the government had similar thoughts. That's why people had a wrong image of computers. So it became a big task for TCS to find the client. But after a lot of hard work and efforts, TCS got its first project, which was for Central Bank of India. Actually, they were given the responsibility of building a system to manage the Central Bank of India, which was called the Inter-Branch Reconciliation System. This project was very important not only for the bank, but also for TCS. In this way, TCS's team started working on this project with full dedication and completed it in a very short time. Due to this success, very soon the company got projects from 14 different banks, such as Unit Trust of India, which is a project run by UTI, in which TCS was assigned the responsibility to manage investment data. Things were going well until now, and slowly TCS was moving towards growth. But then the government of Indira Gandhi nationalized the banks. Now, because the government was against computers, the projects from the banks were suddenly shut down, which gave the TCS a big shock. There was even a time when F.C. Kohli warned J.R. Deep Tata that if a new project TCS may have to be shut down. However, meanwhile, F.C. Kohli and his team worked very hard to prevent the TCS from being shut down. 1970s. Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineer Director Corporation. And this company wanted to develop a healthcare software for its computer. In this way, FC Kohli made them believe that TCS can do this work efficiently. And friends, impressed by FC Kohli's confidence, Burroughs partnered with TCS in 1973 and gave the company a 24,000 contract, which was India's first IT outsourcing deal. TCS had increased even more, because TCS did not have a computer of its own to develop software on. Now friends, Tata could have bought a computer for such a big deal. But at that time, it was not so easy to buy a computer. To buy a computer, it was necessary to get approval from the government, because the Indian government had taken control of computing equipment. It took 9 to 12 months to get the approval, but Burroughs Corporation couldn't wait that long for its software. So what could they do? In that difficult situation, there was only one way left for TCS, and that was to use the LIC computer. Actually, TCS got permission from ISI, Indian Statistical Institute, to use a computer of ICL company, which was actually of LIC. LIC used this computer for its work, but it was ISI's responsibility to operate it. But there was a problem here too. LIC's employee union said that TCS was stopped from using the computer, that it would not be right to give access to their system to a foreign company. Were they scared? But FC Kohli took the situation very seriously and somehow convinced him that TCS would only use the computer for their software projects and that the data or quality of LIC work would not matter. After this conversation, the employee union trusted TCS and gave them the permission to use the computer. And then, after a lot of difficulties, TCS developed a healthcare software that Burroughs Corporation liked a lot. By completing this project, not only did the company's confidence increase, but it proved to be a milestone for India's IT industry. Even after this healthcare software, TCS developed many software for Burroughs Corporation. Thanks for watching. And because of these projects, in 1976, TCS crossed 1 million export revenue. In addition, the top exporter was also awarded by the Engineering Export Promotion Council. But unfortunately, in 1978, this partnership between TCS and Burroughs broke. Now there is a very interesting story behind why and how this happened. Actually, in 1978, Tata Sons, the main company of Tata Group, started a joint venture with Burroughs, which was named Tata Burroughs. The motive of this venture was to sell Burroughs computers in India and maintain it. Now, Tata Sons benefited a lot from this joint venture, but it brought some difficulties for TCS. Actually, TCS had two options. First, he could become a part of Tata Boros joint venture. And second, he could make his own identity and work in his own way. But the thing was, most of TCS's earnings were coming from Boros. So, if he made his own identity, not only would his earnings stop, but he would also have a lot of trouble finding new clients. And the biggest thing is, TCS would become a competitor of Tata Boros, which JRD Tata might not like. Tata. But still, FC Kohli, who was the CEO of TCS at the time, decided that TCS would become an independent company. And then, because of this decision, some conflict started between TCS and Tata Sons. But still, FC Kohli was determined to move TCS forward, and he also started looking for international projects along with the Indian market. In the meantime, TCS developed a software called SEAP, System for Eastern African Pay, which was developed to fulfill the payroll and accounting needs of East African countries. Earlier, all these tasks were manual, which took a lot of time and made a lot of mistakes. But the SEAP software developed by TCS made all the work easier. And then the success of this project made TCS recognized in the international market. After this, TCS worked on many nuclear power projects in India and also completed some projects for Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. And friends, let me tell you that it is the gift of TCS that today you are not able to invest on paper, but on an online platform. Yes, TCS was the one who developed the initial computerized system for Bombay Stock Exchange, IEBSC. TCS system for Bombay Stock Exchange, IEBSC. In 1977, TCS was the one who developed the system for the Income Tax Department, i.e. Income Tax Department. In 1980, TCS established India's first software research and development center in Pune, which was named Tata Research Development and Design Center. TRDDC's goal was to research and develop new software solutions and technologies, so that TCS could provide its clients with the best solutions. And friends, because of this TRDDC, TCS had completed more than 500 projects by the end of the 1980s. TCS had completed more than 500 projects by the end of the 1980s, and giving interviews in 40 countries. But friends, the question arises that, at that time, if there was no computer popularity in India and nor involved any related course, so where did TCS get skilled people to work on such large projects? Did they hire professionals from other countries? Not at all.
Actually, the founder of TCS, FC Kohli, came up with a solution to this problem himself. He requested IIT Kanpur to add a computer programming course in their courses. But at that time, there was also a question that if students complete these courses, then who will give them a job? And friends, here too, FC Kohli assured that whoever does this course will be given a job in TCS. And friends, he fulfilled his promise and hired most of the graduates of IIT Kanpur. But FC Kohli knew that TCS will be closed after a limit. Texas will not be able to provide jobs to everyone. That's why they decided to deal with foreign companies and decided to provide TCS skilled Indian engineers even at a salary lower than the market in other countries. And friends, under this plan, between 1973 and 1977, about 1/3 of the IIT students were sent to the US by TCS. And friends, you will be surprised to know that all the tech employees in the Silicon Valley of America, 1/3 of them are of Indian origin, which is only possible because of TCS. TCS has completed many big projects with its innovations and strategies. As a result, in 2003, it generated a revenue of $1 billion for the first time. In May 2013, TCS was appointed by the Indian Department of Post. A 6-year contract of 11 billion rupees, which was a major achievement. And then this year, the company strengthened its position even more and made its place in the world's top 10 global IT service companies. In its next year, i.e. July 2014, TCS achieved another major achievement and became India's first company with a market capitalization of 5 trillion rupees. In January 2015, TCS broke the 23 Limited and established itself as India's most profitable company. Today, TCS is the 4th most valuable IT service brand in the world. It has established itself with the help of British Petroleum, the World Bank, JP Morgan, General Electric, Lloyd Banking Group, Tesla, Nokia, Siemens, etc. OnePlus and other global giants like Apple. and it established itself as such a trustable company that the Indian government also prefers TCS for its confidential projects.